Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Gates to Chaos. I'm your host, the Gatekeeper. Grab your keys, because we're opening a gate of magic. Join me as we descend into chaos. Tonight's episode will be covering the Rule of Three, or the Threefold Law, as it is known. We'll be talking about its history, how it's changed throughout the years, and things that may be right with it and may be wrong with it. For those new to the path, that are just starting out in magic, the Threefold Law states that whatever you send out returns to you times 3. If you send someone a blessing in order to better their lives, that same blessing will come back to you threefold stronger. If you send out a hex or a curse to someone, that same curse will come back to you threefold stronger. It's a belief that is found among the Wicca religions, but not all Wicca religions. It's not one that is traditionally found in Gardner's Wicca or Alexander's Wicca. Actually, I need to put a little addendum there. Gardner is the originator of the Threefold Law. But it's not as you might think it was. You see, Gardner, back in the day, though he did found modern Wicca, Gardnerian Wicca, he was also a fiction writer. And as a fiction writer, he tried to include some of his beliefs of magic in his writings in order to make them a little more fashionable to the public. His original Rule of Three, which can be found in the book High Magic's Aid, written by Gerald Gardner, states that whatever the witch gets, they should give back times 3. If someone does a good deed to you, you give them back 3 times the good. If someone does a bad deed to you, it is well within your right to give back 3 times the bad. That is the original Rule of 3. Because as Gerald Gardner believed, it was within the power of the witch to do that, to give people a reason to be nice to them and a reason to avoid angering them, so to speak. Because, witchcraft has always kind of been persecuted in the European side of things by the I hate using this term, but the witch hunters and everything. He was trying to make it more accepted. That original iteration was twisted into what we have now. I like to think that it was twisted, one, because of the belief of karma coming about and its popularization, and also, unfortunately, due to pop culture. You can absolutely look at what is popular in pop culture and watch how it changes things about magic, the general tone of magic. And one of the things, in my opinion, that twisted the Rule of Three was Charmed. Great show, but some of its beliefs can be found nowadays everywhere. I did a tarot reading for someone once upon a time, and during that reading, they had mentioned like, "Oh, this is accurate, but I know you're legit because you're not charging me for this reading, and everyone knows if you charge for your gifts, they leave you." And I wondered where that came from until I started watching Charmed for shits and giggles, and there it was. And let's touch on karma just briefly. For example, like I personally don't believe in karma. I don't believe in the rule of three. I don't follow the rule of three. But karma has even been bastardized to be something that it wasn't. In Hindu, your karma does not affect you until your next life. And if you are having bad events happening to you in this life, it is karma that is causing it, but it's not karma that you incurred during this life cycle. It was from your previous one. People are taking it and they're saying, "Oh, well, karma will get them, karma will get them." Let me ask you this. If karma really watched people as closely as they try to tell you, then why do we have politicians? Why are the corporations that poison the water supply, that steal water from people and sell it back to them? Why are these people still around? They commit, subjectively, more evil than any one person can. So why is karma only affecting the little guy while the elites continue unhindered? But again, as I'm often wont to do, I'm getting off topic. So the reason why I'm discussing karma this early on and the rule of three this early on is when you learn something and you're told that this is how things are, it's very difficult, especially when you're starting out, but it's very difficult to unlearn that belief. If you go into a spell thinking that because you're hexing this individual, you're binding their tongue so they don't spread rumors about you at work or something, that something bad is going to happen to you, you're committing a self-fulfilled prophecy. You are flavoring the magic that is going to go out and bind that person's tongue to also come back and bite you in the ass. It's a great tool to stop young practitioners from going out and pissing in everyone's Wheaties. Because the new practitioners, the young practitioners, are often a little more theatrical than the people that are a little more experienced. There's nothing wrong with that. All of us went through that phase. I went through that phase. So why is the rule of three still a thing? One, people just don't like to research. They don't like to try to figure out why things work. There is no culture out there that has a belief of the threefold law. They believe that if you're performing these dark magics, that you will attract dark entities, and those entities are what do bad to you. But it's not the universe coming around to punish you specifically just because you got sick of someone bullying, or you were having a bad day, or you're just a shit human being that really has anger management problems and you just go out hexing everyone left and right because you honestly can't confront someone face to face and say, "Stop it." The universe doesn't care that deeply about your actions. It is your magic that is causing you to incur penalties if you believe it. Now, as far as magic goes, and some strain of truth in the threefold law, everything is energy. Modern practitioners believe this, physicists believe this, quantum physicists believe this. So, is it not possible that by performing consistently what would be considered dark magic over and over and over again, that it's going to lower the frequency that your energy vibrates at? And as magic will teach you, like attracts like. That's why whenever you perform hexes, you're concentrating on the negativity. You're concentrating on the darker base emotions, anger, hate, things of that nature. Because you are changing that person's frequency to attract that effect. So you consistently perform these dark acts, lowering your frequency, which is then going to, as I said before, attract these darker entities. Just because you perform dark magic doesn't mean you're a bad person. Sometimes, when you tell someone to stop, and they don't, you have no other recourse but to go about things in the magical way. And I'm going to put this out there really quickly. If you are not the type of person that can look someone in the eye and tell them, stop this, I don't like this, you probably should not be performing hexes or curses anyway. You don't have the strength of will to get rid of anything that might be attracted to those lower vibrations you're kicking out. And then you're all, I don't know what's wrong, I don't know what's happening, I can't get rid of this thing. And then you go to other practitioners that do have that strength of will, and you ask them to get rid of it for you. Get rid of the mundane side of things first. Try the mundane side of things first before you turn to magic. There are consequences with everything, and magic is no difference. There's always a price, as is the popular belief nowadays. And whether the price is your effort, your sweat and your tears, or is you inevitably attracting some beings, there's always a price. So if you want to believe in the rule of three or the threefold law, that is fine. That is fine. It was not prevalent in any ancient culture. So don't tell people that it is a law for all of magic. Use it more as a moral guideline for you, a tenet for you. Because if you believe that you're going to get back 3 times what you give, then you're probably going to. But don't try and be dogmatic with it. Don't preach it. Don't proselytize it. Because the universe isn't going to go around punishing anyone that does bad or sends out bad into the universe, because otherwise we wouldn't have any bad in the universe. Killers wouldn't get off every day or go so long without being found out. There's still unsolved murders out there. I hope they get what's coming to them. I wish they would get what was coming to them. But it's not a divine doctrine. So you decided to hex someone. And whether you believe it's your vibration, whether you believe it's going to be karma or the threefold law or something, always do aftercare. Always cleanse yourself. Take a shower. I'm very partial to showers for cleansing. Many practitioners like bath. Baths are fine. But for me personally, baths are very useful for infusing yourself with a certain energy. You fill the bath with the herbs, with your bath bombs, with your essential oils, and you charge that water and you soak into it. Baths are great things for when you're already clean. Showers, all that running water goes straight down the drain. Though you can argue that the bath water is also going to go down the drain, you're soaking in it. So if you're trying to cleanse yourself of that negative energy, you're kicking out that negative energy into the bath water. Some of it's inevitably going to get back inside of you. Charge your everyday soap with cleansing. Fill it with that natural, neutral, cleansing white light that people like to use. It's soap. It's meant to get you clean. So all you're doing is building off of that natural properties that the soap already has. It doesn't have to be a special scent. You can do it that way. But any soap, whether it be cheap, liquid, bar soap, what have you, charge that with cleansing yourself. Take a shower after you hex. Hell, take a shower after every magical casting you do. Take a shower if you feel bogged down at the end of the workday, that people were just super negative that day. Take the soap, continually charge it after or before every use. Charge your soap with cleansing properties. It's only going to build up and up and up. Even if you forget to charge it one day, that residual energy is going to be there. Soap yourself down. See as I like to visualize it, the inky black energy just breaking up, sloughing off of you, and going down the drain. Take a bath afterwards if you want, and infuse it full of a bunch of self-love and comforting energies and scents and everything like that. If you do your self-care, you will be very hard-pressed to find any negative results for any hex you do. Keep your vibration neutral, and you will mitigate any negativity that might have come into your life just because you performed what many would consider dark magic. So we talked about the rule of three. We talked about the origins of it. We talked about instances that you might see something similar in different paths, in all paths. We talked about karma. We talked about self-care. The last thing that I just really want to stress in this, because I know I can come off as abrasive at times, I am not telling you, if you are Wiccan or any brand of pagan and you believe in the rule of three, that you're wrong. It is wrong for me. I personally don't subscribe to it. But your belief is absolutely valid. Just don't push that belief on everyone else. Do your research. If you can find some ancient culture that believes in that, send me an email. Prove me wrong. And I will gladly include it in a future episode. Just because it wasn't in OG Wicca doesn't mean that you can't believe in it now. It's a great way of keeping yourself within your own moral boundaries. It is a great moral boundary to have. Just don't proselytize it. Most of us don't like it when the Christians proselytize at our events or protest or anything. So don't proselytize it to other pagans that don't necessarily believe in it. If you like what you're hearing and you want to send me an email, ask me any questions, whether it be about Witchcraft 101, different paths, whether you want to share your paranormal stories with me so they'll be featured on the show, or your favorite spell successes that you want me to feature on this show, send me an email at gates.to.chaos@gmail.com. That is gates.to.chaos@gmail.com. If you want to stay an episode ahead, feel free to join me on Patreon. And as always, if you're enjoying yourself, pull up a chair around the fire, stay for a spell, join me as we descend into chaos. And before the clock strikes 3, check to make sure your doors are locked. Ignore the scratching on the walls, the sound of footsteps down your halls. And always, in dire emergencies, utilize your blanket of safety. Stay safe, stay magical, and I'll see y'all next time.